2020 was the year the world was in a panic because how serious and dangerous coronavirus was. No vaccine or medicine was available in the early stages of the pandemic. People stacked up on food and toilet paper. I'm trying to be calm but cannot understand why people are panicking because was told that COVID was just a minor virus that was the flu. Only few people died at the time from COVID. But little did we know what it turned out to be. Some of my friends and family members would get COVID. Thankfully, they did not die. It made me scared how some people who were testing positive were not even sick, but were on the verge of getting the virus. It made me think, what if I get it, and that could happen to me? After going to the grocery store, I wanted to go to the gym to get my mind off of it. The gym's closed because of getting the virus, and a commercial gym was at a high risk. I felt depressed and I went home and cried. The gym was my go-to sanctuary place when feeling down on personal stuff in my life. I did not cry because the gym was closed, because of what the world was coming to at that time. It made me think how life will be different and what the new norm will be. Does that mean no more handshakes, high fives, hugging or kissing? We had to wear masks and maintain social distance and video chat with friends and family. 2020 was a boring year. Everything was canceled. Baseball only had half a season. Instead of 162 games, there were only 60 games that season. The Houston Astros admitted to cheating in 2017 using electronic wire buzzers to win the World Series that year. School was canceled. I was taking a soldering manufacturing course because of the pandemic and did not get enough experience in it. Every morning was boredom for me. There were days I would wake up and eat some breakfast and do a home workout. I would do some yard work, or sometimes on a weekend, me and my mother would go visit my father upstate New York, where he was working at his new job as a New York State government medical doctor. It was sad and made me feel like I was going crazy with not much going on in the world at that time. I also missed my dad when he would travel by himself. The movie theaters were closed too. This also made me sad. The movies were another go-to sanctuary for escapism. I would go to watch a movie in a dark theater and be sucked into a world to connect and feel like you were part of these characters' lives, as if they were your friends. I had to watch new releases on streaming services. The last movie I saw in the movie theaters before COVID got bad was the DC comic book Harley Quinn movie with Margot Robbie and Birds of Prey. I did not like it at all. Also, the stuff that was originally supposed to come out in 2020 movie theaters was postponed. Filming of movies and TV shows were postponed. It was up in the air when these movies would resume filming, if they were going to be released in a movie theater or streaming services. My aunt passed away from a stroke she had in January 2020. We thought she was going to recover and make it, but in the end, it was her time to go. I feel bad that I could not go to the funeral because of COVID restrictions. They were only letting in a very limited number of family members. Prior to COVID, I had a regular life. I had a job, hung out with friends on a Friday or Saturday night, went to dinner and the movies, went to their places to chill. When COVID got bad, the world shut down. We had a quarantine. I was getting over an ex-girlfriend who I met in the summer of 2019 at an all-night movie marathon. I was worried, what if this isolation would make me feel worse just when I was slightly getting over her? When the world shut down in 2020, all year long I could not stop thinking about where I was or what I did a year prior to this event. From graduating from Suffolk County Community College, I was unsure about the next step or chapter of my life. Meeting that girl, things went from being the summer of love to the summer of heartbreak. Before her, I dated girls. It was the first time in my life a girl gave me attention to the point of getting serious. That breakup taught me that I needed to love myself before loving another human being. But it was also a bad feeling to feel vulnerable. I could not focus or do tasks and be productive. During the period of COVID isolation, I had some time to figure out things and how to reinvent my life. It was sad not seeing my little niece and nephew for a few months. I did not see them for Easter that year. Every day felt like the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Every day was the same routine. My mother and I moved to upstate New York to live with my father. Prior to his current job, my father worked in private practice before working as a state employee. During 2013 through 2020, he struggled with employment during the Obama and Trump years. This was due to economics and insurance policies changing a lot in the medical field. At his new job, he worked during weekdays, coming home on a Friday night, and visiting on the weekends. It got to the point where he was getting tired. My mother and I realized he wanted us to move up with him so we could be with him. At the same time, it was a hard decision leaving family and friends behind. I was also unsure if selling the old house was a good or bad at that time because COVID affected the economy. The summer of 2020 was a long, hard, stressful summer renovating the house I grew up in. It was also hard and stressful for me to learn new things I never knew how to do before, like putting new flooring, painting. My brother-in-law was very kind to help because he's a very handy man. I am not, but I did my best and I tried. There was also minor chaos and drama. We had so much to do and I had a little hard time keeping up with my siblings. We had to learn boundaries. I couldn't help two people at the same time or be in two places at once. In the past, I always wanted to make my own YouTube channel based on my hobbies and interests. With being on lockdown, I came to my senses and decided to start making videos on my YouTube channel. But like anything else, I was scared, I had my fears and doubts. What if it's not perfect? I didn't have the fancy equipment stuff like the pros have. I watched a few videos on how to edit YouTube videos on your phone before I downloaded a computer video editing app. It was not perfect, but I was glad to have done it. But I am by all means no social media influencer. From September to November, I did not see my father for 3 months because there was an outbreak of COVID at his job. I was sad not seeing him for months. I did not see him until Thanksgiving. Fast forward to 2021 in January, I moved out of my old house. It was sad how 27 years of my life went by fast in that house that I grew up in. March 2021, we moved into a new house and renovated the new house with my family. I got my vaccines for COVID. I got the Pfizer vaccine, had minor side effects. Felt tired, fatigued with minor aches and pains. In June 2021, I saw my friends for the first time in person since COVID. I hung out with my friends. We had brunch, went to the movies. We celebrated my friend Jeremy's birthday. We saw the third Conjuring movie for the first time back in the movie theater since COVID. Things were slowly getting back to normal. But COVID was still a problem because of the limited amount of vaccines being available. I was still wearing a mask to be safe. In the fall of 2021, I went back to Empire State College. I really wanted to finish my degree. In February 2022, my friend Chris Mano passed away. It was sad, a shocker, I could not believe it. I spoke to him 1 week prior before he died. It felt like losing a brother. I made a YouTube video tribute for him and his family, but I had to get permission first before making the video. His mother loved the video and his family. My words touched them. My grandfather moved in after falling down and had an accident. It's hard or not easy taking care of a 93-year-old who lost his independence. He can't drive or walk like he used to. He can't walk without a walker. It's hard to motivate him to keep him going, make sure he uses his muscle and does not lose it. I make Golden Girl jokes at him. Shady Pines, ma. If you lose it, not taking care of you. He doesn't get the joke. He has watched Golden Girl. He just doesn't get my humor and sarcasm. Despite the crazy, chaotic pandemic drama of my personal life, the pandemic helped me reinvent myself. No matter how crazy and complicated are between me and my grandfather right now, try to enjoy what's left of his life. Even it's simple, small things like bonding, enjoying home-cooked meals, watching movies, and doing his physical therapy exercises. I try my best to motivate him to keep him going, give him some comfort in his final days.